Every time. God damn it. Every time. Never mind. You didn't hear any of this.
What were you saying?
Jojo, I see you. Rude.
I think she's being authentic.
Still rude. Okay.
How is my finger?
I have to shut them off for whatever reason. I don't know.
Thank you for asking. I know I'm not supposed to be using ice, but
I don't know.
It's melting so that I can use it. If you didn't see, Jojo, we love you.
Don't be rude to me, Jojo. I am very fragile, so I'm just trying my best.
If you didn't see on Instagram, I burned my finger on a curling iron, which is why I don't curl my hair. And we are going on a trip and taking family pictures, so I needed to curl my hair, and I burned my hand. So now I have this ugly, gross burn from like 3 hours ago. And it won't stop burning. So that's where we're at.
That's where we're at. It's always a good time. We love it. How's everybody doing?
Hello, Melissa.
You're better than me because this freaking OBS shit is the worst. I did at least upgrade to a computer where I can see, or we brought our TV in here to use as a better monitor so I can see better.
Do you need to put the chat up there?
Don't put the chat up. No, it's fine. I can just look off your screen.
Okay.
I'm good.
I thought you meant for the recording.
For what? No. Oh, wait. Do I not have the chat on there?
We are dysfunctional.
What is going on? Yeah, let's put the...
Yeah, I haven't burned myself in a minute.
Here we go. There it is.
I used to do it quite often. I burned myself in high school, like right before my senior pictures, and it was like right here, and it scarred, and it only went away like a few years after. It was the worst.
Jordan, tell them what you're drinking.
I am participating in full YouTube mom talk nonsense with my fizz here, and it is Dr. Pepper, but there is a lot of stuff in it.
There's coffee creamer in it. Coffee creamer soda.
It's not cream.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
There's cream in there.
I don't like to think of it as coffee creamer because you don't just use it in coffee.
It's just cream, but...
Yes. Also, we just posted a hilarious TikTok on TikTok, so go like it.
Go check it out.
Go comment.
Sorry if I'm wrecking people's ears right now. Trying to figure out a better... So, yeah. Low effort TikTok meme, so go check that out.
Not low effort.
I'm sorry. I didn't put a lot of effort into the joke.
I think it's funny because it has to do with
funny.
what we're talking about today.
One of the things.
So just putting that out there. Go like it on TikTok. All right. What is the chat saying?
The Void says we can't even get them on TikTok. Back on TikTok. That's fair.
I do need to post our TikToks to our Instagram.
Yeah, you should just start doing that. Traumatized by armpit crabs. This is coming to light, and I was there at BYU, Idaho, and I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but it's relative to our TikTok.
Yes, it's true. Okay.
Do you already have those TikToks to send and have me pull them up?
I have them saved, so I will pull them up.
Cool. Well, you can't just pull them up. You gotta.
I will
text them
to you.
Thank you. Just to reiterate for everybody, we will not have a regularly scheduled video. You've probably heard us say it a million times. Next Monday. But we will have a regularly scheduled live stream.
For next week.
You saved them. Okay.
I saved them.
Let me make sure my loop back situation is set up. So people
wait.
These.
Armpit crabs? Yes, armpit crabs.
Armpit craps?
Yes, if you've seen our TikTok, you know what we're talking about. We're going to get into that in a minute. But McKay has to pull it up first.
One moment, please.
And then we will talk about it. Like, yes. Like the crabs that you were thinking of, like STI crabs. Correct. Feared PNG. Oh, yes. Which I was also confused. It's still sending. I was also confused by the armpit crabs situation. But it is becoming clearer to me with time. Okay.
It is becoming clearer.
McKay's pulling them up right now.
I gotta put them in a little photos folder by themselves.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
To protect our privacy. I'm just gonna put them in the same B-dong folder.
B-dong.
Let's see here. Shut up. Is there an order to them?
Yes. So the bottom one is the one that I want to see first. Correct. Make sure we test the audio beforehand.
We will be testing the audio beforehand. Let's see here. This loopback thing should show me the bars. Can we play? Please play. Why did this one have... This one's just like a screenshot. What's up with that? Sorry, y'all. This is just a screenshot.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
We're dysfunctional today.
We are.
So this is how
We are going pro right now. You might have been able to hear that for a brief second. Sorry about that. This is terrifying to think about, honestly, because just when you thought soaking was wild, jump pumping came onto the scene, just blowing everybody away. And then that has kind of died down, and we're just onto a new level of, like, what the fuck? So,
but
love that.
to be fair, nothing that comes out of, like, BYU or...
No, honestly not. It's
or anything like that is ever really surprising to me anymore. Oh, have we not talked about jump humping on here?
Oh, God. I don't know. I think we briefly mentioned it.
Do you want me to bring it up?
Yeah.
I bet if I search it on TikTok, it'll just come up. So we're going to talk about jump humping. Yep.
Fine. Let's hit the jump humping first. Then. Just send me the TikTok
LMAO
in messages.
It's the first thing that comes
Jump
up.
hump Mormon. I mean,
where's our bestie?
There's our bestie. Funeral potato slut.
What do you want me to do? Text it to you?
Yeah, just text it to me. And
Okay.
I'll open it up on.
So this all stems from, as you all are probably aware, from soaking. Okay. So soaking, remember, and when we talk about these things on YouTube, people are always like, why do you guys use such like childish words to talk about it? And I'm like, there's a reason, because we have to keep things TOS friendly for YouTube. And if we say too many things that are deemed like 18 plus, then our video gets age restricted. So people under the age of 18 can't view our stuff, which is not what we want. So,
well, not only that, because I don't really care if minors are watching this. That's not something that I really want to. But it gets suppressed because of that age
that
gap.
Too. But we have teenagers that watch us, which I don't want to exclude them. So that's the whole point, is we don't want to get things suppressed, and it affects monetization and how many people watch our stuff and blah, blah, blah. So that's why we talk about it kind of weirdly. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God, we got so many comments on that video about that. I was like, okay, guys.
About what?
Please. About how, why do you use words like that? Also, it's just funnier. Like, chill.
Yeah, it's true.
Did you text that to me?
I did text it to you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's
Does this
start
have,
with
copyrighted music?
I
think
don't
it
know.
does.
I think it does. Before we jump into this one, if you're new here, I don't think the majority of you are, but if you haven't watched our soaking video, we have an entire video on soaking and what it is. Soaking, how would you sum up soaking? Inappropriate
Parking it
terminology.
in the garage. And that's it.
That's it.
Just parking.
Just parking, whereas like you would usually be like pulling the car in and out typically.
Yeah, typically.
But you can't do that.
Functionally, you know.
Functionally. So
Yeah.
we're just like skirting the rules basically, because remember, if you're Mormon, chastity,
Yeah.
no intercourse before marriage. And so that's off the table. And so the kids, especially the BYU kids, have figured out little loopholes,
Yeah.
if you will, for kind of getting around the law of chastity. But even that is really not.
It's just ways to rationalize normal behavior of humans in a context where of a high demand religion. So
Exactly.
when people do it, like I don't give a shit, honestly. I wish they wouldn't have to rationalize a way to satisfy a need while also playing to the rules of what some dumb old white dudes say.
It's true.
That's
but
just me.
They also act like it's going to make a difference in like how things are treated, because Mormonism is very black and white. So if you, in any sins of that nature, you have to confess to your bishop. And so if
You're supposed to, at least.
You're supposed to. So if you went to your bishop and were like, yeah, we didn't like, go all the way, but we did do like some other stuff, like he's going to be like, no, that's the same thing. Because it's not just like the act itself or like the deed itself that's the problem. It's anything like remotely sexual in nature, including if it's just like yourself, because they don't allow self-care either, right?
Self-love.
Self-love. None of that. So that's what soaking is. And we know of at least one person and know of this person and have talked to this person about this. So it is not a conspiracy theory like some people think it is.
Yeah.
So it is verifiable, at least in one
It is very,
case.
very, 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 very fringe, but
Yes.
yeah. Anyway, let's check this out real quick.
So jump humping came from soaking.
This is going to have no audio for the time being because I'm pretty sure this has copyrighted music on it. For those of you who cannot read that, because it's not always the easiest, it says, when your bestie is called to soak in a BYU dorm and you have to jump hump for her. So there we go. Thank you, Kathy.
Funeral Potato Slut is the poster. She is lovely.
She's funny.
Now,
it's making me do the CAPTCHA.
It's making you do
I'm
the
not a
puzzle
robot.
piece again. Now, jump humping, I'm not as convinced on. Like, I am very hesitant to think that jump humping is a thing because, in my mind, it requires a third party.
Yeah, to get that many people rationalizing quote unquote sin.
And to like just be chilling there and being like, yeah, it's cool. Like, you guys can soak and I'm just going to like jump on the bed over here. Like, I think that's a bit of a reach.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got a friend that will do that for you, I mean, God bless them. Hang on to them real tight.
That's a real friend, honestly. Few and far between in these dark times.
It is astounding to me that this is even a thing anymore.
The Void said, if armpit crabs are a thing, then jump humping is a thing.
I mean, that's fair. That's
the logic
fair.
is sound.
It's just the third person participating for me that's like kind of throwing me off a little bit. You know what I mean? Because like it's bad enough, like because you two know you weren't supposed to be doing that and it's against the rules, but that like to then bring in a third person and be like, hey, because BYU, if you're not aware, has a giant honor code, right? And all of those things are against the honor code. So your roommate or your bestie could report you and your boyfriend or your girlfriend.
Creature report.
For doing that. So
creature report. Yeah, it's some wild stuff. That's for sure. Soaking is a big topic, a lot. It always comes back around, and it fucking pains me to talk about it on occasion. But
Well, it's
sometimes
weird.
it's kind of funny.
It's cyclical.
Yeah.
For sure.
It just kind of comes... I mean, it's kind of like armpit crabs. Sometimes they just come back, you know?
Especially if you don't get them treated.
Yeah. It makes things a little bit more difficult if you don't treat them. So yeah, that is jump humping. Let's get into the next thing. Jordan is typing away.
Okay. Did you find the bottom one? That's the one I'm talking about.
That's the one?
Yes. I don't believe...
This is...
I texted you the one that's...
I haven't brought it in.
Okay.
Yet. Sorry. I forgot.
Love the Octonauts reference. That
Thank
is
you.
my jam.
That little song is the fucking best. All right, besties. Let's bring it over. Having this water bottle is not the best. That made a cool noise, though. Oh, that's my problem. All right, here we go. Sorry, it's in portrait mode, but we're looking good. You have anything to start with, Jordan?
So this person that posted this is not like a... It's not like a popular account or anything. It's like they're not like an influencer or anything. So
They're like us.
Yeah, I mean they're like, so they're not like out here making like ex-Mormon content to like try to get clout, at least in my opinion.
Like we did.
So, so I don't think that's what's happening here, and it's really funny. So let's just hear what she has to say, and then there's 2 other videos that I want to talk about.
Whoops.
And then somebody asked about Girl Defined. We'll talk about them probably next.
All right,
so I live in Utah. Take that as
I can't hear it. That's an issue.
Come on, bro.
it is. And the best thing about
Hold up.
Jump humping on the trampoline. The new mics are so nice. I watch your videos in random order, so I don't know when you got them, but I love them. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. I was very pleased when we finally
living
got
in Utah
the
is knowing that I
tub thumping.
Tub thumping.
So I live in Utah.
Why is this doing this?
Peso. I love peso. Tweak.
It's so funny.
I love Tweak.
It's all about Tunip.
Tunip is cute too. Creature
Take
report.
that as it is. And the best thing about living in Utah is knowing that I am not making the worst decision
You only
in
get
like a 100
2
mile
seconds of
radius.
audio.
Somewhere
You
out
guys can
there,
no, they
probably
can
in
hear it.
Provo,
Oh, they
there
can
is a
hear it?
girl
Oh.
Yeah,
who
if
is
you know
having
what, I don't
armpit
know what the
sex.
fuck she said. But if you
He's
know,
yep,
you can tell
that's
I
and it's
don't.
what you think it
It's been a
is
minute
to
since I
avoid
watched it.
having
Oh,
premarital
I guess I
sex.
could watch it simultaneously.
So like I don't really
Yeah,
think
I
that
guess
me
that's what
eating
we're
6
gonna have
Oreos
to
for
do.
dinner is
You guys
that big
go.
of a deal.
Okay.
This is like the pro setup, everybody.
Well, now I'm gonna have to open it when I texted you.
Don't save them ever. It's like the worst setup, honestly.
Utah is knowing that I am not making the worst decision in like a 100-mile radius. Somewhere out there, probably in Provo, there is a girl who is having armpit sex. And it's what you think it is to avoid having premarital sex. So like I don't really think that me eating 6 Oreos for dinner is that big of a deal.
That's a good joke. I like that. 6 Oreos isn't a big deal.
You need at least 10.
Yeah, honestly. Crush those bitches up and put them in a milkshake. I would like that. Milkshake, Oreo milkshake.
Oreo milkshake. Yeah, I don't think she's lying. I don't think, based on everything that we now know about, people said they can't hear it or see it.
Oh, we were just playing it for us. Sorry. Do you want me to replay it?
Replay it again just in case anybody missed it.
All right, okay. Sorry about that. Because we can't hear it when we're playing it on the TV for whatever reason.
Okay, don't talk.
This is what I get.
So I live in Utah. take that as it is. And the best thing about living in Utah is knowing that I'm not making the worst decision in like a 100-mile radius. Somewhere out there, probably in Provo, there is a girl who is having armpit sex. And it's what you think it is, to avoid having premarital sex. So, like, I don't really think that me eating 6 Oreos for dinner is that big of a deal.
There's the end. I could hear it. We could hear it for like a split second. So I think it's the fucking Photos app. So we're not doing this anymore. Just save them or something.
You mean not save them?
Huh?
You mean not save them?
No, save them as favorites.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Fun.
I don't think she's lying. The thing that got me about this video is that somebody else commented and said, "Oh, are you talking about I'm going to use the word crabs rather than the actual term, outbreak at BYU, Idaho in 2017." Which is like...
The clap outbreak.
Oddly fucking specific. To be like, oh, I see this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that happened in 2017 back at BYUI. Oh, mind you, I was in college at that time, and so
I was at that school at that time.
But I'm not ruling it out. And is it still happening? Like, I bet you money that now that this is, like, gaining popularity on TikTok, because this TikTok has, like, a bunch of views, I would be more than willing to bet that Mormons are taking note of this, and they're like,
Interesting.
If we cannot get, an STI in the process, then, I mean, is it really that bad of a thing? But I also will admit that I was dumb enough to not understand what they were talking about in this area.
Jordan, you Mormon.
I, in my very Mormon brain, was like, what does rubbing your armpits together do for anything? I know. I'm still undoing the Mormon conditioning, okay? So, but that's not what's happening, right? We've got a body part being put in the body part, right? So just for anybody that was like in the like weird headspace that I was in, that's just to like clarify. Pit scissoring.
Pit scissoring.
Oh my God. Oh, I can't believe we're even having this conversation. So somebody said something about...
That's kind of what we incorporate. The joke was us trying...
In the TikTok,
Jordan's
that's what we were doing.
Misunderstanding.
Because I'm not with the times. Nicole, you thought the same thing? Okay, that makes me feel better.
There we go.
See, I'm glad I clarified because it's not just me.
If at least one other person thought the same thing, then,
But somebody made a point in here about, like, something about, like, armpit skin being sensitive or stubble. And, I mean, that's another... that's a good point,
But, I mean, laser hair removal here in Utah is a pretty big thing.
I guess.
Also... to the BYU Idaho end, there is a beauty school in Rexburg that probably trains people in laser hair removal or waxing too.
Maybe.
So if you get your gal pal is like really is in school or whatever, and she gives you a really hot deal on her practice.
As somebody just said, laser hair removal when you're in college. Laser hair removal is very expensive. Like, very expensive.
That's why I bring up the beauty school thing, because I would go to the beauty school and get my hair cut for $5. It's cheap. $5.
That's sweet.
It's cheap as shit. So.
Okay, so yes, no, not two armpits together. So like armpit and eggplant.
That's what I'm given to understand. Yeah.
Because I don't know how else you would get the crabs if it was like the
otherwise. Yeah.
That doesn't.
I mean, you could get a fungus, maybe. So
but, I mean, maybe you could get that too.
yeah, I oh man, here's a fucking memory right here. I had like a fungus in my armpit because when I was in Honduras on my mission, I got dengue fever. I was sick for like 7 days straight with a really high fever, and then after that I had like this persistent fungus or something. It was the worst time of my life.
Didn't
Sorry,
you have to take
TMI.
like meds for that?
Yeah, I had to take an antibiotic, and I had to like put ointment on it or whatever. It was like a 6-month ordeal after that.
And somebody made a comment about an ex having an armpit kink, and like, let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with the armpit thing. Like,
yeah,
I mean, we can talk about a million other things that people might be into, right? That's fine. And some people might be into soaking in a not like forced BYU circumstance. And so it's not the thing that's the funny part. It's the like context of the thing. Like the environment and religion with BYU and Mormonism is literally so oppressive that it forces kids and young adults to do these crazy things.
Yeah. Just
to address normal hormonal and bodily needs and urges.
It's the same thing with soaking. People were like, oh, soaking, that's just sock warming if you put a C. I'm like, yeah, it is already a thing. It's like, just in a different context and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you take it out of the BYU context or the Mormon context, it's a little bit different. But yes, as long as all parties are consenting, and we've always said that.
It's all good.
So, yeah, like no harm, no foul there.
Let's
pull up the other one.
This other one. I just realized that the chat was not scrolling. Sorry about that. Hopefully Jordan and I can hear it on this one. I pulled it up just in the web browser. Nope, we can't. Will you pull it up? We're all going to watch it at the same time. I don't know why the fuck I can't hear on the audio. I probably need to reboot my computer or something.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
everybody.
We won't talk so you can hear it.
Yes. Ready? 1, 2, 3. They can't hear it, though.
They can't
I'm
hear
looking at it. This shit has got me all in a tizzy right now. I'm
just going to read comments.
over it.
The little icon is X'd. That's why.
The little icon.
The audio on TikTok you had turned off.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm so dumb.
Thanks, guys.
I'm so dumb. You might be able to hear it now.
So this is how...
Yeah, we can. Guys, thank you.
This is how I originally heard about armpit sex in Utah. I had a friend who was going to BYUI in 2017. I was still in high school, but she was there and she told me about it. And I remember just thinking, like, oh my gosh. I told everyone I knew about it in high school. And I still tell, just because it's so bizarre to me. And I think people think it's like way more, like I think when people hear about it, they think that it's like a common thing. And it's really not. It's not a common thing in LDS culture. It's not even really a common thing in Utah. But it does it happens. It happens enough for there to be a chlamydia outbreak. And I also think that sometimes people think I'm lying when I say, like, I have some vendetta. And I don't. It's one of those things that, like, you just have to laugh at it. Like, you have to laugh at it. It's hilarious. So this is how I originally heard about armpit sex.
Okay. Is this the last one?
No, there's one more, but I want to talk about this one.
No.
Yeah, that's the next one.
I just need to know. I'm just queuing it up so we know.
That's from a different poster.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So, like I said, I don't think she's making it up. And the comment from the other person that's oddly specific about the 2017 crabs situation is like very specific, and someone said it's muted again. Are we good?
Are we good?
Can you guys still hear us?
I'm on the fucking struggle bus today. It's bouncing.
Okay. I didn't know about like, obviously I'm not a medical professional, but I imagine, I mean, thinking about like an STI in like I want to say a cold, dark place. That's not the words that I'm looking for. But like
It's a dark place.
The moisture that it creates would make me think that it would be, because that's the question, is it possible to get this STI in your armpit? And I imagine that it is because of the environment. I don't know if there's a medical professional in here.
No doctor.
That can clarify that, but that would be my thought, because it's
a moist, dark place.
Yes. I hate that word, so I won't use that word. But like crevices, there you go.
Crevices.
Yes. So I would think warm, damp place for the STI to thrive. See, that's my thought, is that. But I think it furthers the point that Mormons, like, it's not just with one person, because they're going around and doing it with each other, because otherwise the STI outbreak wouldn't have been as rampant as it was in 2017. Yeah. So
I'm guessing, I mean, some dude could have multiple people in rotation.
Now, mind you, somebody said, why don't they use, a tool or something? There was in one of our BYU horror stories videos, there was a girl who had a roommate, and this girl ordered clothing from Victoria's Secret, and her roommate saw the package and didn't open the package, didn't do anything with it, but reported her to the honor code over the package, like, without even knowing what the contents were. Yeah. So when we're talking about, like, self-care and things of that nature, especially at BYU where you have roommates and things, like, it's much less likely to have something like a tool in that sense, because it's going to be hard to conceal from a roommate, unless you're like really...
You're sneaky sneaks.
You're really, really careful about it. Yeah. But there's also plenty of stories of BYU students who are, walking in on other students or finding other students things, and so...
But it's not like nobody's doing that, because, I mean, it's pretty well held that even missionaries, like, if they were not allowed to have their way with themselves, the missionary force wouldn't, if there was like a zero tolerance policy, I mean, the missionary, it would be like gone. There's
still, I mean, in my opinion, there's a majority of them are still doing it, but there are some. What's the talk from What's His Nuts?
Oh, from Packer, the little factory.
Do we have like a small clip of that?
Maybe I can find one,
because that's an interesting one. But remember, self-love, self-care, against the rules.
Wow, this does yield a lot of different things. From what I was looking for.
Like your roommate going through your packages. Yeah, this is the problem with Mormons, just not just in one sense, but in many, but the lack of boundaries. Like, Mormons have an immensely difficult time with boundaries, whether it be like, personal or family or things of that nature. So like a roommate, like, taking somebody's package and like reporting them just because it says Victoria's Secret on it, like, zero boundaries. Like, that's not your package. Why are you picking it up? Why are you looking at it? Like, again, This is just another example of Mormons cannot, like, respect other people. It's too much of the, like, purity police. Like, which, I mean, you can't be that mad about, because that's kind of what Mormons teach them, in the sense that not only are you responsible for your own salvation, but you have somewhat of a burden to continue bringing other people to Christ. Because if you don't, they're going to be in a lesser kingdom. So there's a lot of pressure there on you as well. to like be policing other people. Plus, don't they say in the honor code that it's your job to like report other people if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing?
It doesn't say in the honor code, but they
say
talk
that?
about it all the time.
Okay, well there you go.
I mean, just remembering the fucking on the Battlefield video. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but we talked about it in one of our videos. It was like basically a propaganda video. I mean, at its very core, that's exactly what it is. But at BYU, this happened while I was at BYU, but they made this film where they likened someone struggling with porn and, you know, self-love is like somebody who's wounded on the battlefield, and it's our job to make sure that they get... So it's basically like, hey, these people are hurting. You need to go fucking tattle on them to the honor code office so that they could possibly be expelled. But that's helping them, guys. Don't worry. It's helpful.
I mean, they might lose their housing and their progress towards their degree, but it's okay because you tattled.
Yeah. There's nothing I can really bring up for the little factory talk. The only thing that's in there right now is the full thing, which is 15 minutes. I don't want to even get into that right now. Maybe at a later date, and I can hack it up a little bit. And then something, there's a small clip, but it says Pee Wee Herman.
What?
So I'm Pee Wee's Little Factory. So I'm pretty sure there's copyrighted material in there that gets messed up. So
we could probably do a whole separate video just on that concept
honestly,
alone.
we probably could.
Okay.
It's a good time.
Let's see. Mormons so unnecessarily petty. Yes, absolutely yes.
All the time. Whoopsie. Okay, do you want to get to that last?
Yes, pull up the last one. This one was just kind of reaffirming the other two, and it was from a different creator, so I just wanted to include it so it's like you're not like just getting the perspective of like one person.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay.
But now people are probably going to go after it for clout because they know other people are
like we're doing.
Getting lots of views from it, so who knows beyond this point.
Will you pull it up so we can hear it? I honestly don't know.
Because, you know, we ain't going to hear it.
What the fuck is the deal with our audio? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so I'm assuming most people know that Mormons have like a chastity rule. And this is basically a way for them to get around that. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. Instead of P and V, it's P and A.
So that was the confirmation for me that it wasn't what I thought it was, okay? Because the other ones did not explicitly explain it. So if you're like in a very weird mind space like me, then this would be like the exact clarification that you're looking for, because it's not P and V, it's P and A.
She needs to specify what the A is, because there's another A it could be. But
That's
I guess
fair.
in context,
That's fair.
it is pretty straightforward there.
At least in my opinion, yeah. That's fair. Samantha said the same thing, P and A. Yeah. And backdoor. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. But the weird thing is with Mormonism is you don't hear, like, it really is the perception of, you know, like front and back, because I don't even hear the
Poophole
loophole that I hear in other like very purity culture type religions. Like I have never heard that in Mormonism. So I think that holds the same, like breaking the law of chastity as going in the front door, like as the same as the back door, because I've never heard of Mormons using that as a loophole.
No, me either.
Which is just kind of bizarre, because other places do, but Mormons deem that as like being too far.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
There's also the letter where we've talked about this before too. The letter that they sent to all the bishops that basically demonized that the back door, even among married people, and even oral.
Yeah.
So it probably could stem from that. And that's something that they just let go. They didn't talk about it any further. it's still, they never like rescinded it or said like, yeah, if you guys want to do other than PIV, then it's all good. And they just like stopped talking about it, which was fucking crazy to me.
So I mean, by all technical accounts,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
So yeah, they just kind of demonized that, and maybe that's an extension of why the poop hole loophole is not a thing.
Maybe. But I also... That's also still just kind of the vibe with Mormonism, though, because, like, it's still not... Like, I feel like we're just now getting to a point where married couples are okay with, like, doing, like, more experimental things in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Whereas...
And experimental, we're just talking, like...
More than missionary,
more
basically.
than just regular vanilla. We're branching out to, like, old-fashioned vanilla and vanilla bean, French vanilla. So, like, when we were getting married, if you've watched our stuff, somebody just said machinery, you already know. Yeah.
If you've seen our old TikTok about it, and I think we mentioned it in another video, but before we were getting married in the temple, you have to do an interview with a church leader, and so we had to do an interview with him. And after we both did our interview and we were both cleared to get married in the temple, he was like, here, I have some advice for you, like, about marriage. And I don't even know.
Here's my unsolicited advice for two people that I just met today. Here you go.
Did he even say anything about, like, actual marriage-related things and not, like, sex
I think he
things?
did. But he didn't really focus on talking about those things. He just handed us a pamphlet from
That's true, yeah.
former prophet
We still have
Gordon
that.
Hinckley. But yeah.
So he gave us that and probably mentioned something about something non-sexual related. But then he said, don't use tools in the bedroom. Like, there is no need for tools. Or he used the word machinery. And so people have always... I think that was our video that went viral on TikTok.
One of them.
No
machinery in the bedroom.
No machinery. People were like, power tools? Like,
No
it's
tools.
just...
I mean, they are power tools in some cases.
Well, and his whole, like, reasoning behind it was, I mean, obviously there's, like, something going on in his life, but his main reason was that there can be, like, an established dependency on the machinery. So, and just in my small education about sexual things, I know that that's generally not true. So it's just...
Yeah.
Like, constant perpetuation of this stuff. It was just
a self-report about how this guy is self-conscious, and he's self-conscious that he can't get the job done when statistically you can with your flesh machinery, your flesh equipment.
Rage against the machinery. It is, you know, it's just unfortunate because there's nothing... Like, there's nothing wrong with using that kind of thing, but that, I mean, this president that we went to sees, you know, hundreds of people and signs off on hundreds of married couples, like, each year. And so there's, like, all these people that he's telling this to, and so then it just becomes, like, an established norm within Mormonism that you're not supposed to do these things. So then when you encounter people who were like, oh, no, I won't buy anything like that, or I won't... Yeah. You know, we don't use anything like that, then it you know, it makes sense.
And to be clear, this guy was inspired to tell us that. That's not something that they tell the leadership to tell newlywed couples or anything like that. No. This dude has just been feeling that he should tell people that for... Well, he's not doing it now, but...
he could still be doing it now.
Well, he's not stake president anymore.
Oh, he's not?
No. He got released right before we moved.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
We went to the stupid steak conference. Remember that? You were pregnant, maybe.
I tried to block all that out.
Remember that. So yeah, somebody also asked if there's like a Mormon kink community, and by and large, I can probably say that it's very, very underground because of the kind of societal norms that we're breaking down about. It's just kind of considered, what would you call that? Devious behavior or sexual deviancy and things like that. So
I'm sure that there is, because this ties back. I mean, you're not going to find it and you're not going to hear about it unless you're like really looking. but I'm sure there is. But this ties back into the whole, I mean, like, this issue just branches off into like 15 different things, because like we've talked about the Mormon swingers in our other videos.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people that have confirmed that there is a very large Mormon swinging community, especially like in like Mormon Mecca, like a little bit south of Salt Lake. Like to the point that it's like almost entire neighborhoods is what we've been told. Like in really, really Mormon communities. And so
if you live here, it's called Daybreak. You probably have heard of it.
Yeah. And we wanted to move there.
For totally unrelated reasons.
Yeah, because we thought it was nice.
Yeah, we didn't consider, hey, the communities are set up by a fucking drunk man, and they're spaced, like, I can touch both walls of two houses, and the construction is absolute dog shit. But then, yeah, I mean, we could have gotten into the Mormon kink community.
I guess. I mean,
who knows?
So that's just another example. And again, we're not saying that, polyamory or swinging or any of those things are only the result of like repression
or like sexual deviancy.
Yeah, like that's not true. But in a Mormon context, that's what it is. Oh, people are asking for the Adam and Eve code. Yes, we have an Adam and Eve code. If you use Jordan 50, then you can get 50% off. Technically,
we have both. We just included the one. You can use Jordan 50 or McKay 50.
Yep.
But use Jordan 50 because it helps our numbers, I guess. They were like, you can kind of play with it, but I don't want to risk it. So
you can just use the Jordan 50 and it gets you free shipping and it gets you half off an item. So if you are being inspired by this conversation and want to do some self-care, Adam and Eve has got you covered. This isn't currently an ad, but you guys asked for the plug.
You asked for the plug. Yeah. It still helps us, and they'll probably reconsider sponsoring us again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Adam and Eve is an adult toy company. It's like one of the largest in the U.S.
It's a machinery company.
So, yeah. So if you want some machinery or feel like you need some vibrator right in the armpit.
Yeah.
Yes, if you're going to experiment.
Sheath your tool in your armpit if if that's something you want to do.
That's just funny. Plastic pocket pits. You absolutely already know. You already know.
Somebody call up Fleshlight. We got a fucking idea for y'all.
We're so getting age restricted on this. Yes. So that is the Mormon drama when it comes to swinging and soaking and jump humping and armpit clapping. I think that about
sums it up.
Sums it up. Yes, maybe Adam and Eve needs a new section on their website for armpits. Yes, I was going to say that too. The pineapples, like they say in Daybreak, the upside down pineapples and gnomes. Apparently in Daybreak, gnomes are like another one that's like an example of, hey, we're swingers here.
The signal.
Yeah.
The bat signal, if you will.
But I mean, we've even been told, like I was told by one person after our Mormon swingers video that we have, that said that like her like uncle or something was in a bishopric and there was one like in one ward and it was like making its way through like half the ward and like the bishop knew about it and wasn't really like doing anything about it, which is just like fucking wild.
The gnome queen says gnomes are a signal.
The gnome queen. Now people who have gnomes in their yard are like,
I know.
Gasp.
Put the gnomes in the backyard.
We have a subdivision in Idaho with the same lore. That's interesting. What if you just happen to have a garden gnome? That's awkward. I've heard pink flamingos too. I have heard that when I lived in Colorado. I don't remember how I heard about that, but I've heard that that's a thing too.
The gnome queen. Let's hear it. Spill.
The gnome queen. No pressure. You have a zombie gnome? I think that's a little different. I feel like. I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
The signal is one thing. I'm sure if you just met those people, then you could understand the vibe. It's probably pretty easy to understand the difference between casual, having a gnome, and like the gnome is a signal.
Well, and I've heard that like they're not just gonna like in these scenarios, you know, they're not just gonna like come up and be like, hey, do you want to participate? Like, I imagine that's not how things go. Like, you gotta establish a relationship beforehand, I assume.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you have the gnomes, then people like might have preconceived ideas about what's going on. So if you don't want to be like totally upfront about it, I could see it. So everybody's really...
These are signals for supposedly swingers.
Yes.
At least the upside down pineapple is. That one is for sure. But people were saying that gnomes are kind of also part of the situation. I think every middle-aged couples are swingers. I mean, it's possible.
There's no shame in the game. So, I mean, like, if people are happy doing it, then it's just in the Mormon context. Again, people are like, how can this be? Like, these two things cannot coexist. And it's like, no, they can't really, like, doctrinally speaking.
Yeah.
But think about it from the perspective of if you're just like wanting to be Mormon for the community, like if you just want like the cultural community aspect and you're not like keen on the doctrine and you don't care about the sex stuff, then like why the fuck not? Yeah. So maybe that's where those people are at with it.
Yeah.
I could see that being like a more likely scenario.
I want Dole Whip now.
Dole Whip?
Yeah, it's the Dole Whip.
That does sound kind of good.
At Disney.
Okay.
Those are pretty boss.
All right. Any final thoughts before we move on to Bethany from Girl Defined?
Bethany. Let's do that. I'm good to go.
Yes. Get all the toys. Try them out. Do it. And you get it half off.
Gnomes, Armpits, and Apple Clap, or Pineapple Clap is a rad band name. Sounds like a ska band.
Has Brittany talked about her sleep paralysis yet? I have not checked, like today or yesterday. I'm in her snark sub, so I think they would have posted it. But as far as I have checked, no. So I think Brittany has already forgotten about it because she probably lied about it. Knowing B-Dong, and so I'm thinking maybe she lied.
She just kind of like released some new lore, and then she didn't have a backstory or anything thought up when she started it, so she kind of just scrapped the whole idea because she couldn't think of anything.
Which, I mean...
She edged us and then forgot about us, honestly, yeah.
I think she's like other influencers where they just like spout so much shit that they forget the things they say. Forget. And then people are like, wait, what about this? And they're like, I didn't say that. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, and it's not to like...
Maybe we need to start a campaign and everybody just go over there and comment. We need to know about the sleep paralysis demons. Tell us about the sleep paralysis demons. Maybe they're gnomes.
Well, and... Maybe Brittany's swinging. There's something off about her and her husband. Maybe that's it. But here's I just totally lost my train of thought. There was somewhere I was going with that. Why does this keep happening to me?
I don't know.
Somebody did make a comment about Brittany today. Oh, I was going to say about sleep paralysis. Like, we're not trying to downplay the realities of sleep paralysis because it is like very frightening and it would not be something that I would want to deal with. And I'm sure there are like at times that it would feel like there's like a demon chilling.
Yeah.
But in the Brittany context, it's, you know.
We're talking about B-Dawn.
Yeah. In the Brittany Dawn context, we're talking about she thinks it's like she's living in a certain way or she's drinking coffee creamer, which is bringing upon her the devil. So like she's being punished with a sleep paralysis demon. Not because, like, she just has this, like, scary sleep paralysis thing, but because Satan is sending it to her to punish her for doing something. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I wanted to make the distinction there.
Jordan,
there's something in my
Morgan
fizz.
brain vibes.
Oh, God.
You're getting Morgan brain, Jordan.
Hope, I messaged you back on Patreon last night, I think. Wrong bidong. Yeah, sorry. I flipped.
Okay, let's talk about Bethy
Melissa.
while we're here. I just pulled this up, and
I did too.
I almost okay. I don't want to claim that I invented this,
But this is hilarious.
but I was saying she works sharp last time. This was not me,
We did
and
not
I did
do
not
this.
encourage this.
We don't touch the poo.
We don't touch the poo. I only wanted to get blocked by moms_of_truth,
Which he did.
because it was funny, and I did. But I was calling it She Works Sharp last time, and somebody made an account. She Works Sharp. So
This is Bethany's Instagram account. So she has shared this on her personal account. Now let's read what this says. Did you read the comments underneath it?
Oh, no, I didn't.
The description?
Sorry.
Only Sharks
Belchy.
creator.
I like that. Can we...
Can you zoom a
here
little
we
bit?
go. Here we go.
Okay, guys, get ready. I'll wait till
Only
it
Sharks
zooms in for
creator.
ya.
I help women turn their P word,
Wet ass P word into passion. Whenever I get off the couch, strategies to stretch that checkbook. Gold fingers because I'm inclusive. Bethy rockin' cowgirl.
Bethy rockin' cowgirl coming to my barn. That's funny. The gold fingers. Does she really do that with the yellow skin tone?
I think she does. I've never really noticed, but I would imagine.
I would bet if I were to wager a guess, it's because she doesn't know how to select the colors, the skin tones.
So that's not an inclusivity choice. That's just a...
No, that's a just inept at technology choice.
Let's see if it's still up.
It's parody. Sorry.
It's a parody account, so I
Yeah,
really don't think they're going to take it down.
Oh, they have posts now.
She sharts hard.
Hold on. We gotta
pull it up. How many? It has 352 followers.
Oh fuck! It's one word. She works sharp. Why won't this pull anything up? Will you text it?
You only have one S.
She works sharp.
Yeah. Doing the Lord's work.
Go.
I just told my mom
now I
about
have
the armpit
2
crabs.
and still nothing.
What? Wait, go to search again. It's down below Bethany.
Oh, why is it
Below
giving me
Bethany.
no results? Sorry.
There you go.
It's dumb. Okay, sorry. We're back. We'll throw it up here. Here we go. Check it out. She sharts hard.
She works shark gospel. We are discussing Bethany, yes.
She sharts farts.
Is this like a little graphic? She
sharts
farts
hard and loud. This gives the... Sometimes she sharts. Booty rocking cat.
Wait, go back to the comments. What are people saying?
Let's see.
What a blessing. I'm so glad to have found this God-honoring account for ready to get started as a businesswoman.
Nearly in
tears. How can I get 4 inches? If you don't know, if you're not familiar with Bethany and /Girl Defined lore, she misspells everything. And it's not because she can't spell. It's because she just refuses to spell check thing. I mean, maybe a little bit on the spelling thing. But she will not...
Shardy got low.
Live, laugh, sharp. She, even in her ebook, which we're going to talk about today, even in there, she will not proofread her things. Even in the things that she's charging people for or pushing out, she will not edit her stuff, and it drives me insane.
Design took me forever to work on.
Like and comment below for more tips on a reel. See, reel, wrong reel, spelled wrong. See, this person knows what they're doing.
LOL. A real expert. Stay tuned for my ebook coming out soon.
Belchy,
Looking
I
to grow your
niched down
niche?
with the help of the Lord.
Oh, this
I
was an
niched
hour
all day
ago.
and night. Yeah, I have.
Oh,
not
they already
seen
got
this.
something here. 32 minutes ago. An instructional tutorial to help you itch your niche. Download free ebook. Do they have something going on here? I don't know if there's any audio.
Hit the play button in the middle.
There might not be any audio.
There might not be.
That's okay. That keeps us from getting...
Congrats on entering your season of sharding. Is there a chapter on how to scratch one snatch? Oh, y'all. I love this so much. Oh, Bethany.
Are we going to check out her ebook?
Bless her little heart. So go back to Reddit. There's two things I want to talk about.
Price range?
Scroll down.
Audio?
Below that one. Below that one. Below that one. Oh, wait. You're not on Girl Defined. Go up and click on the Girl Defined tab.
Oh, you're in the Girl Defined.
On the right.
Dude, I don't use the browser ever.
Okay. Now go down.
Sorry, I don't use Reddit.
This is what I'm
Web.
talking about right
This
there.
one right here?
Yeah, click on that.
Let's see the full image, baby.
So,
Can we...
this is... I'll go back to her ebook in a second. But this photo is her outline, she says, for the class. Now, let me just throw in the chat. Some of you will already know this, but I'm curious for the ones who don't. This is Bethy's outline for the class, okay? So she's making a online course about how to make an online course. Yes, I said that correctly. And so this is her outline for what's going to be in the course. I think there's a second page, but it's really not much more than this.
Oh, fuck. I gotta close this.
What?
Never mind.
So based on this and another half page that looks just like this, I want you to put in chat how much you think she's going to charge for this course. If you already know, you don't have to say. But if you were to guess.
If you didn't see it at the top of the screen, take a guess.
Yes, if you didn't see it already.
Please.
666. Hell
Dude,
yeah.
I wish. $100, $1,500, $150.
420.
We are already way too fucking much. I think it's like $12. $1,000, $50, $300.
99 cents. That's what I'd pay for it. Maybe even not that.
I wouldn't. Something that ends in 7. Probably 1,000. Oh, we finally got the first one. Heather P.
Heather P? Did I
Yeah,
just
Heather
miss it?
P. Where were you?
Oh, yep.
Let me highlight your comment here. Bang.
Yes. So Bethany announced
2 fucking G's, dude.
1,900 technically, but she has said that she's going to charge that much for the class. So $1,900, $2,000 for this class. Bethany does not have any qualifications for this. She has no credentials, no experience. And if you're going to sell a course for that much, in my humble opinion, you should at least have like
some substantial
something
experience or
I don't know.
anything.
Maybe. And so I think it's ridiculous, especially based on the outline that we just showed you. Like, I'm really concerned that there's not going to be like anything in this class that's going to be like even close to worth that much. And she's going to try to sell her followers on this, who she already has like established rapport with.
Yeah.
And so, because the difference with Bethany is she's not just like some random creator who has like 500 followers who's trying to sell a product with like no established rapport, no clients, no people that have bought from her before. Like, it's different with Bethany because she has sold things before and people have bought her stuff before.
Yeah.
Like, Girl Defined has become a trusted brand to many Christian women. And so she uses that to push this thing.
How much was Bidong charging for her little things?
Oh, I don't even know.
If anybody knows,
way more than she should.
I can't imagine it was more than $2,000. And I mean, she's getting sued by the Attorney General of the state of Texas for defrauding.
That's Brittany, not Bethany.
Yeah. So.
And somebody made the point, her followers paid $2,000 more for a course they wrote. And yes, Bethany is like notorious for making,
just like plagiarizing, basically.
Yeah. She'll be like, guys, what do you want to see in this PDF that I'm making? And then she'll just take everything they put and put it in the PDF and then just sell it back to them. And I don't.
Why?
I can't. And she put out this ebook. Will you scroll up and pull up the ebook? I think it's above all of this. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah. And she took a few screenshots of it, I'm pretty sure. So there might be more than one page.
Let's open. Niche It Down. An original book by Bethany.
Yes. So she put out this ebook as like a precursor to the course. So, this is free. You can just download it. And basically it's called Niche It Down.
I think that needed a little more fleshing out, but that's just me.
Maybe. And she just go into it. Go to the next page.
Niche It Down. Whoops. She works shart.
So the purpose of this is to guide you to help figure out your niche. Now, if you just came across this book like out of nowhere, you'd be like, my niche for what? Life?
Yeah.
A business?
Well, I think
hobby?
This whole, yeah.
An
there's no context at all.
What?
I guess maybe on her Instagram. If you found it via her Instagram.
That's different.
Then maybe, but.
Hi, Lily B.
That's kind of.
Okay, go to there's two other images with this. With the questions that I want to see. Yeah. So this thing is only 3 pages, and that includes the title page. So apparently a book only needs to be 2 pages now. I don't even know what I would call that. Maybe like a packet.
A packet, a booklet.
Maybe
you might be able to get a packet, or if it's just single-sided, you cut the you could cut this down into a brochure, honestly.
Yeah, that would be better. Pamphlet. Yeah, brochure. Yeah. That costs more than any of my college courses ever did, which is a good point, because especially if you're going to like a community college, which offers like really affordable classes, which I highly encourage doing, then yeah, like you might have classes, like 2 or 3 maybe credit classes that are not up to $2,000.
Yeah.
And so this really is insane.
And you could even...
A chick tract.
A chick tract. You could even argue like, oh, this is like a certification or whatever. And there's no certification. She doesn't have to work by any sort of standards or anything like that. This is just, you pay $2,000 and some severely underqualified person tells you what they think like running a business or whatever the fuck she's talking about is, according to her. So
and
I don't know.
So she has questions up here, which the amount of effort that is put into this, like I as a person, like if I just like randomly wanted to be like, here, let me help you narrow down maybe a business idea, I could probably do this in 20 minutes. And I'm not saying that to like, oh, I'm so good. Like I'm just saying, like, if you have like any sort of experience in business or working with people or helping people determine what they like or want to do in life, then it's going to be pretty easy for you to pull up Canva and like put all this stuff together and just roll with it. You know what I mean? Yes, Bethy did make this. This is her 2-page book that she's created. So the questions right now... Uh-oh, are you looking to see if she copied this?
Yeah.
McKay's Googling this to see if she
is
copied it from somewhere else. Which she does do that from time to time.
Really fucking easy stuff.
I mean, it is. Like, if you read her questions, she's like, what do you like to do? What credentials do you have? Like, suddenly she cares about credentials.
Yeah.
What unique life experiences do you have? What hardships have you been through?
Sorry.
What victories have you accomplished? What 3 major life experiences have shaped the person that you are today? What could you spend all day talking about? Surprisingly, there were no typos in there. She might have had Dave edit this. And then write down the common traits between all your answers. Like, this just makes me...
It's extremely vague.
So vague. Like, how she literally could have Googled any of these questions and then been like, put it all together. So now apparently we're going to get shartships. We're going to get more specific. So if you don't have your niche yet, that's okay, because we're going to get into it more. Think of one person in your life that you would really enjoy serving through your business. What makes you excited to serve this person? Okay, that's not terrible. If you were to coach this person one-on-one, what specific results would they see in their life by working with you? So now are we doing coaching? Like, because the whole point of what Bethany's trying to do is she's teaching a course on how to teach you to make a course.
Yeah.
So, like, her goal is that you're going to find your niche and make a course based on that niche. So, like, why are we coaching? What did she copy this from? And then get specific about your demographic, which I'm surprised she even knows what that means. List these specifics: age range, life season, location. I don't know why she couldn't have just hit enter on that. Specific interest, hardships being faced, victories needing to be accomplished. So she just copied some of this from the questions up top, because the repeat is interests, hardships, and victories.
This reads like a BYU Idaho business course.
The life season. I'm glad you guys said that, because that was like bothering me too. I'm in the autumn of my 20s.
The autumn of my 20s.
It's pink because
I'm in the
it's for
Ides
the
of March constantly.
So somebody in the Fundy Snark Uncensored sub pointed this out, and I had not even considered this, because like I do curriculum creation and I don't ever do anything like this for this reason, but the whole thing is printed purple. So like it's designed for you to print it out and fill it out. I mean, most people, I would argue, would do it that way, but it's purple.
Which is dumb.
So it's going to cost you $1 million and a bunch of fucking ink to print this out for it to not even be helpful.
But Jordan, it needs to look cute. Well, and then if you don't have your margins set up, it is probably going to give a white border for no fucking reason at all.
Carly, I'm not wasting my ink on that chart. I'm in peach season of my 20s.
Nearing the paprika of my 20s, actually. Ooh, I'd like to be in the peach season of my 20s.
Spoiler alert, it doesn't look cute. No, it looks bad. And like I get from like
that was the joke. It doesn't look cute.
No, it doesn't. And so go to the next page.
It's also like this is a dynamic font. Cool. And then this is just Arial or whatever.
You're not showing your screen.
Oh shit. Yeah. Anyway, let's this is like a cool dynamic font, and this is just like Arial or I can't identify fonts, but anyway, let's go to next page. Number 4.
Take your niche from being broad to super specific. Okay. Your niche is specific.
That's what it means.
What
niche means. It's very specific. I really want a super specific niche. Very specific niche.
It really is so bad. This is Bethany, yes. It's so bad. Okay, so take your niche, you guys, that you have in mind and get it more specific, okay?
In case you were considering
niche your niche.
niche it down to your niche. In case you were already considering taking a course from this person and paying $2,000 to do so, which apparently is going to be discounted in the first
She
couple
said
weeks.
she'd take $400 off for like the first 2 weeks or something.
Which to me, if she's charging $1,500 for the first few weeks, she's actually setting the price at $1,500, and then after the first few weeks, she's raising the price. So that's really stupid. But if this wasn't already your sign to not take advice from Bethany Beal for $2,000, there's no helping you, honestly.
And like from somebody, I have a really good friend who had started a very, very successful curriculum content creation, like production company. And she now lives in a giant mansion in Montana. And
I thought it was Wyoming.
Is it Wyoming?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's Wyoming.
A giant mansion in Wyoming.
It's still giant,
I
so
mean,
she's still
it's
paid a
not
decent
saying
chunk
much.
of change. But her whole, I mean, and
Sorry,
she,
Wyomings. Is that what you call it? Wyomingers?
I don't know. But she runs an online course that is insanely successful. And she has like things like this, which is what Bethany's trying to do. Because if you're going to do something like this, like a free ebook would be an introduction to your product. But the introduction has to be enough that you're like, okay, like this is not only like, do I need more information, but this is helpful. Like what I've done so far is like, okay, I'm tracking with this. This is beneficial. I need to see the rest. Whereas with Bethany, it's like, this does not do anything.
It is so... She needed to niche down her fucking niche on this pamphlet.
This is not compelling anyone to buy her stuff. I mean, in my opinion, maybe there's some people out there that this speaks to, but... Okay, so what is she saying?
This doesn't sound like passive income like she was advertising.
No, it's not.
FYI.
Okay, also the other thing that people pointed out in the sub, so like if fitness is your overarching category, get even more specific. Helping moms regain their bodies and confidence in the first year postpartum. There's like 15 problems I have with that sentence. Like this whole fucking...
Fuck you, Bethany.
Rhetoric that we have around moms regaining their bodies as if somehow we lost them or, you know, like they're not good anymore because, you know, and I just...
Yeah.
And so then for number 4, you're supposed to write down your niche focus, okay? And then for number 5, describe your specific niche in 3 words. Only 3. Be as specific as possible.
Please be as specific as possible.
I don't know. Her passive income is Dave's salary.
I like how her describe your niche in 3 words and the lines are all the way across the page.
3 words and got some really long words.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious apparently is one of them.
Everything she has to say has to be related to being a mother. That's true. But I mean...
I'm surprised that it didn't have to be related to her wedding.
The thing that's weird to me about Bethany is for as much as she's on like social media and Instagram and all these things, she doesn't talk about her kid that much. She really doesn't.
That's really shocking, honestly.
Like compared to other influencers I see, like, and among a lot of people in the Fundy Snark Uncensored sub, it gives the vibe that like she really doesn't like being a mom because she really doesn't seem to have a lot of interest in... I mean, Bethany posts about literally anything and everything happening in her life, and she rarely posts about her kid. And so you could argue that she's like not wanting to share him with the world, which is great, but I don't believe that that's what she's doing. Anyway. So then she ends it with, that's your niche. It's time to start focusing your content on your niche. If a piece of content doesn't relate to your niche, don't post it. Your community will thrive under your specific help. What does that even mean?
Specific help.
I'm cheering for you, Bethany Beal at She Works Charts.
This is neither positive nor is it negative, but this looks like I wrote it. So take that as you will.
I'm also not a super huge fan of the signature.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like the latter half of it is fine, but the beginning it just looks not great. It just looks not great. The artwork for the signature is all messed up. Is that why it is? I think She must have moved it too close under the B.
She probably did what I did in this week's video.
Which is
when
what?
She dragged it on accident and it got all messed up. I'm pretty sure that's why there was like a couple minutes of just black, because I probably moved the timeline on accident and didn't notice.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm still kicking myself over it. This is a bad omen for this week, honestly.
Yeah, we've had lots of technology problems this week. So that's Bethany's ebook. I don't quite know what to do with any of that. I truly am concerned at this point that there are people that are going to buy this course. Because
it is concerning.
Like, it's such a waste of money. And and I have a hard time with, like, she's going to put out this course and I want to see it. Like, I want to see what's in it. But I also hate giving Bethany money. So I'm like, maybe if everybody can
definitely
just
not
band together and I don't know. I want to see what's in it, but I don't want to give Bethany money. So
we just need a disaffected person.
Is she doing pre-orders?
Disenchanted, whatever.
She has not even, as far as I know, go to her Instagram account. She, as far as I know, has not put out a launch date for this course because somebody called her out on not being done with it. And she was like, well, I follow another content creator who isn't done with her course either. And she's already posting about it. And she's like, you're supposed to generate excitement for it.
Yeah, this is too much. This is like generating excitement for a movie. And that's not what you're doing.
See, there's nothing on here about when her course is going to come out. Like in her bio up at the top, it used to say VIP course coming. Like I think she said like October or like September or something. So like, I don't think she's done with it, to be honest. And then she said she was going to make another PDF, I think, recently. And then she said she was going to post it. And then the next day she posted on Instagram that she's not done with it. So, like...
I mean, did you see her little notes page, her little outline page? $5 toward buying this insane course so you can spill. I'm going to refund you because that's not going to happen. Thanks, Katie, for the super chat.
I would be okay, maybe. I still don't like it, but I would be okay with it if like a bunch of people banded together from the sub and we all paid like $1 to buy this stupid course. Because I want to see what's in it. And I know we're not supposed to touch the poo.
All 2,000 of those dollars are going straight to her.
I know.
Basically.
And it's tearing me up inside because I want to see what's in this course. But I don't want her to have that much money. Like, can we get a hacker to like steal it somehow?
She's like that one guy on The Office where he's like, I just want
$5 to not give her any money.
Thank you, Christine.
Yeah, that's the thing is I can't like.
She's just like, I just want to sell one really big thing, like just one stupid, ambiguous, nebulous course, and then I can just be done.
Just pirate it. I mean, if we can figure out a way to do that without, because let's say publicly on the stream that we're not going to do that. But if we figured out some way, because I mean, that's really what it comes down to is I don't want to. I don't want to get really hard. But it just seems to be like this is the thing that's going around like right now because Morgan, Paul and Morgan created a PDF thing for like pregnancy. It's like scripture quotes for pregnancy in like a packet that she sold. I think for like I don't remember how.
What's up with these people in packets?
I think it was like $12.
Are they just trying to announce to the world that they're grifting like nobody's business, or
I don't know. So it seems like they're doing it. But somebody made the point, somebody will buy it. Like somebody in the sub will buy it and it's going to happen. And so people will be able to see it. I'm not going to be the one to do it because I don't want to give her the money, but I understand. A little fraud. I mean, and that's the difference, I think, with the online courses is it's hard because Bethany's not really promising to deliver certain content. Like, she's just providing a course, and if it doesn't meet your expectations, then, like, you took the risk of buying it. Whereas Brittany Dawn is in trouble because she promised that she was going to do XYZ and do online coaching and one-on-one coaching and things like that, and she didn't follow through, which is why she's in trouble. So I think if Bethany takes like the little more sketchy go with the flow thing, she can kind of get away with it.
I hope this is true.
Oh my God. Somebody said,
sorry. Last one. Hold on.
Gets hurt feelings by
There you
trolls. Does she though? She pretends.
Does she? Whoops.
The course is $2,000 or $1,900, and the ebook is free. The ebook is the one that we were just looking at.
Yeah. Honestly, she has zero shame for this to be true, so I really doubt it.
And she says she doesn't look in the sub, but she brings it up. It's like,
right.
I don't know if anybody in here is in Trishy land.
In a God-honoring way.
It's like Trisha Paytas. Like,
right.
She says she doesn't read the snark sub about her, but then she will say things, like very specific things that are said about her in the snark sub. Like, very, very specific things.
There you go.
So it's like, people are like, no, I don't read it. And I'm like, you lurk, Bethany. You lurk. The course is not out. We don't know when it's even going to happen, because she said it was going to come out later, and now she hasn't talked about it in a minute. And I just, like, to be fair, I don't even think she's put the course together. Like, after she posted that outline,
yeah,
I think that's what she has. She's also been saying that Dave is doing all the tech stuff. So, because people came at her for that too. How else does she find the she works chart?
People should.
That's fair.
There you go.
That's fair. Gnome Queen.
People should
speaking truth over here.
Start a snark sub for us. I'd like to be a part of that.
I don't want that, because then I'm gonna lurk in that shit, and then I'm gonna get my feelings hurt. It's okay. People hate on us. It's fine.
Is anyone over 14 who follows this stuff? Probably not. Nobody over 14 and 90% bots.
Well, and that's at least what gives me a little hope, is that her followers are so young that they're still asking their parents for permission to buy things, and their parents are going to be like,
$2,000.
No, not doing that.
Yeah, because isn't that supposed to be their, well, I guess not just young Christian women, but yeah. Anyway.
Generally.
Yeah. Jordan Snark. Wow, her hair's so perfect.
It better look fucking good, since I fucking sacrificed a finger for it. Which I haven't used my ice at all. So it feels okay now. So I might not have like a really serious burn, thankfully. This is why I don't curl my hair. Okay, what else do we have on our list? I wanted to talk a little bit about McKayla Skinner. How do you feel like we're doing on time?
I think maybe wrap it up in about a half hour.
Okay.
We are not ready for our trip tomorrow, so we're gonna cut it a little bit short. But
so let me pull it up real quick.
Oh, what the fuck? Are you for real?
Yeah. So just Google McKayla Skinner Anasazi.
How do you spell McKayla? M-C-L-O-M-Y.
No, M-Y-K-A-Y-L-A. Wow, I can't read, apparently. Okay, so we're moving on to McKayla Skinner. We get a lot of comments about McKayla Skinner because she is a gymnast.
Why can't I find this? What did you say? McKayla Skinner?
It's that first one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here we go.
She is Mormon. Somebody recently sent me an Instagram post where she confirmed, like probably less than a month or two ago, where she currently does wear garments. She is married. She is actively Mormon. So this place here, for our 8 passenger snarkers, will know what this is. Yeah, not just a gymnast. She's an Olympic medalist. She's amazing. She also went to my university. She was on the University of Utah gymnastics team, which is a phenomenal gymnastics team, might I add. And so 8 passengers lurkers will know that the Anasazi, and I don't know if I'm saying that right. We've talked about this before, but they are a wilderness camp, I will say, for troubled teens. And the fonts are terrible.
Yeah, the fonts are awful.
So
God awful.
Let me pull up how they describe themselves, so you guys can kind of get the feel. So that's not what I wanted.
Yes, the troubled teen injury. The troubled teen industry, very well known for treating children with respect and reforming them in a way that is not fear-based.
And it's not even like, there's a lot of talk right now going on in Utah about the troubled teen industry, because there is not
Wagazi. That's exactly what it looks like.
There is not there's basically no regulations about like troubled teen, either like institutions or like these types of things where it's wilderness camps. And so that's like a big, they actually have a current ongoing segment. I think it just ended like a month or two on NPR about it, because this is an issue. Paris Hilton, notably, was actually sent to one of these institutions.
Wait, was that a show here in Utah specifically?
Yes, I think so.
I'll have to look at what it is and shout it out.
We can put it in the description afterwards. So even Paris Hilton came, I think they passed a little bit of legislation to try to kind of crack down on the things that they're doing at these camps. So I think there's been a little bit of legislative movement in Utah on that issue, because she came here, I'm pretty sure, for some type of legislative thing. I think she spoke at a hearing or something. And there's one in Utah that I'm aware of specifically that was recently shut down, that was like very sketchy looking in the middle of the desert. So Melissa, our resident mental health professional, all the states out west are unregulated, so there's tons of this prison camps for kids out there. Parents pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to send their kids to them too. Yeah, they're not cheap, notably. And so this place in particular actually refers to themselves as a troubled teen camp, which to me is like knowing everything, like the horribleness around the troubled teen industry, like having that included like in your like SEO for your website just seems like a choice. You know what I mean? So they have programs for adolescents and apparently young adults. But let me pull up what it says for adolescents. So this one specifically is located in Arizona.
Let me put it up on the screen.
Just go to anasazi.org.
And then
programs and then adolescents.
All right, cool. Okay.
So
let's go. This
one's located in Arizona. So it says 49 or 56 day minimum stay, residential, ages 13 to 17. And notably, they say on here that it's not a boot camp. There's no forced manipulation or confrontation. There is parent involvement. There is safety, education. I remember looking at this previously. It does have some licensing and accreditation, which I don't really know how that even works. Let's see what they say it's accredited by. So it's licensed by the Arizona Department of Health Services Office of Behavioral Health, and the Joint Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations, and the Association for Experiential Education as an Outdoor Behavioral Health Provider. And that's a lot of mumbo jumbo to say that if like all of these camps and things for troubled teens are regulated by these bodies, does that really mean anything then? Probably not. So my beef with these things is the staff and whether, they have competent staff or not. So it says at this camp, they have a psychiatrist, clinical social workers, professional counselors, certified addiction counselors, and registered nurses. So they say that right out.
And I'm already sus. That's suspicious to me because I've seen, and I mean it's anecdotal, but somebody on TikTok shared the emails between her mom and the LCSW there.
Oh, I remember that.
And it was fucking grim.
Yeah. So
the fact that they have these people on staff and these people apparently have not been informed as to what the troubled teen industry is, and they're still okay. Like, we're talking about social workers that are supposed to be upholding a code of ethics and everything like that, are okay working at places like this.
It seems kind of sketchy.
Yeah, they
don't have the names of staff on the website, which I'm sure is by design. Because I mean, if you're looking for a therapist and you want to know if they're actively licensed, that's all public information with your state. Like, that's how. So
once you learn their name, you can look them up.
You can look them up, and so that's, I mean,
if you can put a barrier between that and people not understanding that they're not licensed or there's not something going on, then it's all the better for them.
Yeah. So McKayla apparently endorses this camp.
I mean, she's going there and presenting an award.
She is the
Sounds
MC
like an endorsement
for the
to
gala.
Me.
For
the gala.
Gala or gala. I've heard people pronounce it so many different ways. And so there is also, I don't know if it's Mormon owned or Mormon related. I don't know. Arizona is a heavily Mormon area, depending on where they are.
Ruby sent her kid to that.
So
she probably didn't want to send him to a place that was in distortion.
No,
obviously.
I don't know. Did she know what distortion was back then, though?
Oh well, she knew it in her heart of hearts.
So Ruby's oldest child was sent to this camp when he was being
second oldest.
Is Sherry older than him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, second oldest.
I hate that I know that.
Sherry's in college. Yeah, you're right. So
I'm about to sneeze, so I'm gonna. You can keep
going. Chad was sent to this camp because Ruby said he was being bad, and by bad, it's probably because he looked at her wrong.
Yeah.
For Ruby, so he was sent there.
He lost his bed. Maybe it was bad for, other reasons.
I don't know.
I feel like Ruby would freak the fuck out over that.
But his experience, he talked a few things. It's been a while since I've listened to them, but he said a few things about it. And basically, I do remember him saying that they slept on the ground, like for the entire time that he was out there. Which, is it that much different from what he has at Ruby's house? I mean, at least he has air conditioning and
there, yeah.
Because she makes him sleep on a beanbag, but a beanbag's better than the freaking hard, hot ground in the middle of the summer. So she sent him there. There's a lot of sketchy things about it, right? And, we don't have time to go into all that today, but it's sketchy. It sounds like Chad had like a really sad and heartbreaking experience. This is, again, our opinion only. But troubled teen industry camps and things of this nature have bad vibes all around as it is, and there isn't a whole lot of regulation on what they can and can't make the kids do. So when you send your kid into something like that, it's a little scary because you're kind of just giving them free reign to do whatever the fuck they want, whether that be like, okay or abusive or mildly abusive or there's no real way to know. But in my experience, they're sketchy. So I was not super stoked that McKayla Skinner is involved with this. People have asked about like the leotards and things and the gymnastics outfits, and it's considered an exception to the rule because of the sport.
Yep.
It's the same thing with like Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, they would rather have people in the public eye than make a stink about the attire.
Yeah. Because she is like one of the token Mormons, because they're like, she's cute, she's a college student, she's talented, she's hip.
She was a 2010 meme.
Yeah.
A 2010s meme.
Yeah. I mean, she went to the Olympics, and Mormons make big deals about Mormons who go to the Olympics. Like, I remember as a kid, I think it was one of the luge people wore her young women's medallion.
And you were like?
Yeah, because there was a particular friend that that like was like absolutely astounded by it, and I was like, wow, okay. So they make a big deal about like the spectacular Mormons that are doing like amazing things because it just draws attention back to the church. Like, it really has nothing to do with McKayla. Like, they don't give a flying shit about who she is or what she does.
Oh, that was McKayla Maroney. Whoops.
Oh, that was Maroney?
Sorry about that.
Okay. But either way, it's just the attention is directed back to the church. So she's just a means to an end. Like, and she's setting an example because, she got married in the temple, I presume, because she wears garments and she wears them currently. So she's a Mormon influencer and actually follows the rules. So she's good. Like,
I love it.
She's good PR for the church. And so it really doesn't matter who they are. As long as they're good PR, they'll like latch on. And 666 watching right now. Well, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Hit the like button if you haven't already.
You get a different number than I do.
And then last but certainly not least, we have an 8 passengers update. So we posted our video about connections yesterday. And
to their YouTube.
Yeah. And somebody emailed me this morning and said, hey, it's hilarious. Oh my God. She titled it, I left the psychology world. Are you serious?
In the fucking thumbnail. Hold on. Let me show you all this. What a joke.
I left the psychology world.
What a joke.
Okay, so I don't want you to watch the whole thing because it's like 14 minutes.
It was just in the first couple minutes, wasn't it?
A little bit. Basically, Melissa, if you're still in here, you're going to rage at this bullshit.
You're going to fucking rage.
Skip.
Oh, I can't skip it. Ha. Ha. What the fuck is that?
So Jody went on a rant. I don't know if this was filmed this morning or last night, but it's funny because our video about them went up yesterday. But she talks more about her experiences in mental health as a former therapist, and it just provoked some very interesting things.
Oh, we're going to have to play it alongside, huh?
Put captions on.
Oh, yeah. That's a better idea. Oh, they're on.
Let us know if you can hear.
Looks like they can't. Hold on.
Hold up.
Oh, I had it muted. Sorry.
There we go.
Hello and welcome to Moms of Truth with Jody.
Moms of Truth with Jody.
Someone says speed it up.
I
Speed it up.
am smiling
we're not gonna watch
about
the whole
this
thing.
question
It's only
because
a couple
I
minutes.
love to talk about principles. And this person is very curious about
Well,
where
speed it up
I
anyway.
learned about
She talks
principles.
slow.
And
She does talk slow. Well, if other people don't want that sped
probably
up,
more importantly, how I made the connection
Sorry.
of living principles to healing, quite frankly. Whether it's healing of relationships, healing of anger, healing of sadness,
Healing of sadness.
of loneliness, healing. How do I heal myself? And
If she says heal one more time, I'm going to flip, honestly. Healing of sadness, healing of loneliness, heal myself.
I had a very interesting journey of how I put those two things together. I didn't know that living principles of truth healed, but I've watched tens of thousands of people.
Tens of thousands of people.
She's talking about the tens of thousands of people in the Facebook group. And if you watched our video yesterday, you know that at least over half of those people are snarkers or lurkers. And so she really, Joby, heal thyself in the name of Joby. She really does not have that many people in there living principles.
Seriously. How about you can base the number of people that it actually has helped off of the number of good reviews you get on Google? Then we'll talk about how many people have actually been helped.
Engage them, and I've watched them
I
heal.
hate that it comes up like
So here's the question.
All right, a writer.
They say,
somebody
hello,
wrote in.
this is not a typical question that's usually asked in this group, but I'm curious and hoping to learn more about truth. Jody, out of interest, how did you find out about the principles of truth? From what I understand, they are universal laws, correct? Yes. But I've never heard of these principles before. Well, that's probably not true.
That's probably not true because I literally pulled it out of my ass just about from being a Mormon. So
Everybody knows about principles. You probably just haven't had them packaged the way that we've packaged them. You've heard of responsibility. You've heard of honesty. You've heard of kindness. You've heard of forgiving. You've heard of compassion. You've heard of empathy. You've heard of hard work. You've heard of perseverance. You've heard of long suffering. You've heard of, I just lost it. Diligence. You've heard of charity.
Diligence.
You've heard of these. You
She
just
said
probably
charity
didn't know
twice, I
that all of those were principles. And I just put the word truth on them.
We just put the word truth on them. It's that easy. Man, I think Bethany really needs to get in contact with Joby. I think that could really help him out.
Maybe. I could see it.
She literally just combined like the Beatitudes with like the Scout slogan or whatever the fuck it is.
Why is long
A
suffering a
Scout is
principle?
trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, clean, obedient, cheerful, thrifty.
Yeah, I hate that term as well. Keep going.
What term?
Long suffering.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, so they say, I've never heard of these principles
Never
before,
heard of these
and it
principles
looks like the
before,
majority of people also have never heard of truth and distortion. So I am eager to learn how you came to know these laws. This will help me understand these principles better, therefore I will hopefully be able to raise my kids better in truth. I do also hope that this will help other people too. Thank you in advance.
She wrote this
Okay.
question herself. You know she did.
You could never be so sure. The fact that she's like, oh, a person said this. No, they didn't. Nobody said that.
You guys lie in your Facebook group all the time. Why do I believe that somebody actually asked us?
Just be honest. You don't have to do this whole like song and dance about, oh, somebody wrote me a letter. Just fucking say your story, honestly.
Okay, I think now is when I want to.
So here is my journey.
Here's the journey.
I went to school and I did the educational thing. I received my bachelor's and then my master's, and I learned everything that the educational system teaches all of you. And I went out as a therapist and started applying theories that I had learned in school. And I learned very quickly, like within months. I was working at a drug and alcohol treatment center. And so I saw a lot of people come and go from treatment. And few of them, I want to say all of them, I can't think of any of them that actually, in that experience, I don't know where they're at now. That was 20 years ago.
So she's been sitting on this shit for like 20 years, basically. Hold on.
Supposedly.
Give me 1 second here. I think I know the answer to our issue. Nope, never mind. I don't know the answer to our issue.
I don't recall that any of them were getting better. And
I feel like that's recency bias. I don't feel like any of them were getting better.
She's just
This was 20 years ago. How the fuck would you remember that?
she's just trying to use this to further her point that psychology and therapy and mental health professionals aren't helpful, so you just need to do her stuff because her stuff works. And she should know because she's a mental health professional.
Yeah. Somebody asked what school she went to. She went to the University of Utah.
She did. Yeah.
Very unfortunately.
Yeah.
This shit would
She
be
was
like...
not in my program. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, this shit would be like standard issue for a BYU alum. This would not be surprising at all.
I would go home, and I was just a young woman. I was late 20s, early 30s. And I'd go home and I'd think, these people, they call themselves better, like they're sober, but they're still lying, and they're mean, and they're dramatic, and they blame, and all that nasty stuff that people with, I call distortion, do. You'd call it addiction. I call it distortion.
Okay,
It's the
pause
same
it.
thing.
Rachel, I agree. There, in my opinion, there's a lot of things that she's pulled from like CBT just generally, like the things that she's liked, like cognitive distortions. And she talks a lot about core beliefs, which is also part of CBT. But the thing that gets me about this is she's like so mean to her previous clients. Like
Right.
I would, like even later on, even if I was years down the road, I would never, ever say like, oh, my clients are so mean and they're dramatic.
They're just living it in distortion. If they just wanted to be clean and everything, they would just live by principles and they could be clean, no problem.
Yep. Like, it's
Yeah,
just so messed up to
dude,
talk about people that way.
I would be fucking furious if I were a former patient of hers and she was saying this shit on the internet. Luckily, I know that probably will never happen because she's so irrelevant that none of those people will ever come across this on the internet. But
Yeah, for real.
you know,
But if there was, I mean, how hurtful would that be?
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, your therapist, especially if you have one that you trust is, your advocate, and they're there to help you navigate things, and then to have them like go behind your back and be like, oh my God, they're so mean and traumatic. Like, that would be like partially traumatic potentially for a client.
Yeah. I agree. Honestly, it's just,
Okay.
I don't get what she's on about. I just changed it back.
I don't know what she's on about.
Sorry. All right.
Addiction, distortion, same stuff.
Addiction,
And
distortion,
so,
same stuff. Okay.
I started asking God. Like, I didn't even know I was asking for what information I got. But I started asking, like, what is this? And why is it that this person is behaving the way that they are? They're not better. They're just more manipulative. They're more deceptive. They may not be putting a needle in their arm, but they are not happy people. And what I started recognizing is that as I invited them to take responsibility for their own agency, over a period of time, of months, they really did start healing. They started changing. They started being responsible for themselves. And I did this for 20 years and watched it and watched it and watched it and watched it. And the 3 principles that I found that every one of us, including myself, I was having mental health issues as well, is when I used my agency to be honest, responsible, and humble, I started seeing sickness.
Oh,
heal.
they got it monetized. I totally
Okay, pause it there.
just remembered.
So,
All right, we're going to watch the ad in silence. Mental health.
she does mental health in quotations, and she says, I used to have mental health issues, and I used to have depression, and she's just selling like her thing now. And supposedly she's been using her principles and these techniques that she's spouting about now that she's been doing it for 20 years, and it's been super effective. And apparently it's been more effective than anything that she was taught in school, and that's why she's abandoned psychology. And I just, like, I don't even know where to begin with how harmful this stuff is. Like, I really don't, because it's just like the cultiness of it, because Mormonism does this quite a bit too. Definitely not as bad as this, but Mormonism does this too, in that, if you're having mental health issues, if you're struggling with a substance use disorder, if you're doing any of those things, then it's your fault. Which, there's a level of responsibility in everybody for their actions. Like, there's a level of responsibility, but mental illness is not something that we're just like, oh, it's just mental illness. And if you just were humble and responsible and honest accountability, and then you wouldn't have this problem. And it's just hilarious to me because, we've been studying this field in psychology and the brain for a very long time, and suddenly Jody thinks that she's come out here with this like groundbreaking material.
Not her. God told her.
Oh, that's true. I'll get to that in a second.
God told her about this.
But she thinks that this is the
silver bullet to mental health issues, as she would say.
And that's why she doesn't need to be a therapist anymore, because everything that she was taught in school and the psychology and the therapy and all those things don't matter, because they apparently don't work to her. Yeah.
Tell me, Jody, what is the principles of truth for these fucking nuts? How about that?
Melissa just said, I'm trying to figure out why being honest and responsible apparently means being cis and straight and hateful.
Yeah. I'm assuming that this substance abuse clinic, inpatient, whatever the fuck it's called, it was in Utah, right?
I assume.
Okay, so she's applying Mormon parallel. I wouldn't even say adjacent. This is the same shit as in Mormonism.
Yeah.
She's telling people who are likely Mormon or grew up Mormon or whatever, and trying to connect them with these principles of truth, which they already know because, like I said, it's just plagiarized from Mormonism. And they're reconnecting with the faith of their childhood or the faith that they still have, but their abuse of substances and things got in the way. And she's seeing results with that. That's weird that aspect that is like, you know, a net positive when it comes to mental health and recovery and treatment and things like that. Connecting with a faith that you had would produce results. Like, wow, it's so crazy that would happen.
Well, and to treat it, it's the same thing with the video yesterday where she's like, you know, mental health medication isn't a principle, and it's not. And there's a lot of Mormons who, like my mom growing up, had the same kind of mentality around mental health medication, and it took her a while for like to be willing to allow me to get on mental health medication, because it's all under the assumption that, you know, you're not praying enough, you're living in sin, like taking medication is a weakness and you're just using it because you don't want to do the work to heal. Like there's a million different perspectives around why people have issues with medication. But for somebody to be like, it's not a principle, so don't do it, is like, I can't. And then the other thing that got me about this video was at the end, she kind of clarified where the principles came from and where distortion came from. And she said that she was driving down a hill. She was very specific. She was driving down a hill and she heard clear as day something distortion, or living in distortion. It was something with distortion. And so she knows that God told her about distortion, and that she needed to start helping people and using this verbiage in order to accomplish what she wants. And so to her, this is all like ordained by God process, which is just really gross to me.
Not a fan. Yeah,
when
it's
God
really,
talks to you, meds might be for you.
Yeah,
that's funny. I
well,
love that.
And this might be a problem for her standing in the Mormon church, where she's claiming she's received this like revelatory thing, and from God, and applying it to other people. That kind of borders on the whole, like, she might believe that she's a prophetess or something like that.
Lori Vallow, somebody just said it. It's giving vibes.
Yeah. So with her being a Mormon and things like that, and she's claiming to receive revelation that she can apply to other people, I mean, she's not like relevant enough for it to end up being a membership cancel and her being excommunicated. No. I don't think she's to that point. But it could end up being a schism where she's like, I received this revelation about principles and truth and distortion and all their other stupid fucking buzzwords, and then she's like, well, you know what, if I can receive revelation about that, I can receive revelation about a bunch of other things.
Yeah, well, and I can tell you how to parent because you know,
God told me.
No situation is unique, and it's
just people living in distortion now. But you know, when does it end up being children who are acting out are zombies possessed by the devil? And
that's why people get kind of mad when I draw kind of the parallels between her and Lori Vallow. But there was a lot of the same discourse happening with Lori Vallow, and I mean, she obviously didn't use the word distortion, but I can't remember what word she used to describe her children, but it was something related to them being like zombie-like, and they weren't they weren't present as themselves anymore. Like they'd been taken over by an entity and therefore had to be destroyed because they were living, you know, in such a way, or it was like Amy said, dark. Yeah, it was something like that. I don't remember what term she used. It was bizarre. It was something like distortion, where I was like, what the hell does that even mean?
Yeah.
But that's...
What the Jesus Christ was that?
I mean, she was just a regular old Mormon person too until she slid into extremism. And so, I mean, that's kind of, and it applies with anything, like people, when we talk about like Dead Bundy. We talk about Ted Bundy and serial killers, and people are always, Ted Bundy was actually was living here in Salt Lake, and he actually converted to Mormonism, if you didn't know. And everybody here and, later on in documentaries and things were like, he's just this charismatic person, and he's not just like somebody that you would expect to kill people. And I'm like, the scary thing about being a human is everybody is capable of terrible things. And when we accept that, it's a lot easier to process these kinds of things.
Not to say that everybody's doing terrible things.
No, but everybody has the capacity.
Yeah.
Everybody has the capacity. Like Lori and Chad set off as normal people, had kids, got married, were dedicated to the Mormon church, wrote books. Were very, Chad was in a bishopric, or was a bishop, I think, at one point. And so, like, it's not just like these people come out of the womb like serial killers. And are there situations where kids act out in those ways? Yeah. But that's what we're trying to talk about with extremism, is it's not just, it doesn't happen overnight. And this type of thinking is really scary when you're headed down a path like that. She used the term zombies. Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh, cool.
There was something else too that I'm thinking of, but I can't remember. But in her words, her kids were literally taken over, and they weren't her kids anymore. And so they were, like, they needed to be destroyed. So it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing to go down the slope of extremism. And I think a lot of people, and vampires. Yeah, I think I remember that too.
Sounds like a teen
novel.
fantasy novel, honestly. Love it.
It's whack.
Except for when it ends in absolute tragedy like that.
And so that's why I at least like bringing awareness to these things, because at least, maybe some action can be taken in some sense of the word, or a family member will try to intervene at some point, or if it gets like one person to not join in this group and try to take advice from Joby, then it's worth it, because Jody and Ruby are in pretty deep, and I'm not going to say that they can come out of it, because they can. Like, human brains are, resilient. We can adapt, we can change, but it's sketchy. It's sketchy to hear this stuff and think that things are just going to end well. You know what I mean?
It is what it is.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is when her stuff, like what she's doing, eventually supersedes the church, and she's like, the church is going astray and what I'm doing is better, that's when we will potentially see, like you said, a shift.
Yeah.
And she'll continue on with the Mormonism that she believes is right. And
yeah,
we'll have to form potentially a group outside of it.
They're going to niche it down.
Niche. So, and she doesn't see patients. So that's the kind of dicey thing about her situation, is, from my understanding, she's not operating as a therapist or seeing clients really, in a sense, because she's taking a coaching role and not a therapist role. And so the code of ethics, as far as, CMHCs, clinical mental health counselors, it gets kind of dicey, because she can just say, well, I'm not doing therapy. Like, I'm doing coaching. Like, what I'm doing has nothing to do with therapy, even though especially if she's counseling people one-on-one, like it's really hard to make the distinction. And I've had professors who are like, it's really hard to simultaneously, and it can get really sketchy really fast when you're doing those things simultaneously, because how do you distinguish?
Yeah.
How do you say what is and what isn't? How do you say these are your clients that you're providing therapy and these are the ones that you're not? And so because of that, she's kind of in a interesting position. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Her license is still currently active. Rachel, you bring up a good point. If she doesn't do CEUs, I'm pretty sure Utah has a similar law, then she might not be maintaining that license. And if she's going down the coaching path, she might not care.
Yep.
So...
But if she was so about her shit, why doesn't she? Her license isn't up for like a couple more years. How long does the license period last?
I don't know. I think she's got it for a long while now. Mm. I think you might have to pay like a fee every year, and like I said, take classes to re-up it. But she might not. she might not care at this point. I mean, she could go in and like rescind it now. I mean, if she wanted to.
I think she should. If you're about your fucking shit, then
yeah, if you stepped out of the
rescind it.
psychology world, then why do you still got your license?
Yeah, cut your ties. Cut your ties and prove that you're about your shit. So that you can, I think you're living in distortion by holding on to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Shred your degree.
Yeah.
Shred your degree, Make sure that there's nothing for you to fall. If you're so confident that this is the truth, the way, and the light, cut all those ties and, bet it all on black. Anyway, let's wrap this up because I'm fucking hungry and we got to get going.
Yeah. Melissa, I think it's similar here. I would have to look. It might be 2 years, so she might have like more time. I don't remember when her license. I think her license was like taken off probation a long time ago. But I agree.
It wasn't even on. It didn't even have anything. It was in 2012 that.
I was gonna say it was a while ago.
It was a while ago.
So she must be doing something to maintain it, which is interesting. But she started Connections in 2020, so it might be coming to the point where it's. Yeah, if she hasn't done trainings, it might be coming up. So who knows? I'll be very encouraged if she gets that. If she rescinds that, because people are like, well, you should report her. And I'm like, she's really not doing anything, at least as far as the code of ethics goes, that's reportable other than her saying like whack shit.
Yeah.
Like she's not, like, in my opinion, doing like any concrete code of ethics violations. Because right now she can just purport that she's not in a therapy role and this is her own opinion.
Yeah.
So it's challenging.
Well, she's telling people not to take their meds, which is
sketchy.
Generally regarded as not a good thing to be telling people.
Yeah. Especially
if you are not the one prescribing those. Why I left the profession breakup video.
I'm here for
it. That was it, I think.
Why I left psychology.
Yeah, it wasn't the title, it was in the thumbnail. It was in the thumbnail. Go back, but anyway, let's get it, finish it up. Thank you everybody for joining us. This was good. Always love snarking on Girl Defined because it's basically a fucking layup every time.
Yes, hit the like button if you will on your way out.
Niche it down on over to the like button and hit like.
Drop a comment.
Yeah, if you want to support us, patreon.com/Jordan McKay. If you want to buy stickers on our Etsy store, Happy Brain Collective, you can, but they will not be shipped for at least a week. So heads up on that one.
The movie watch party, the next one is going to be August 5th.
Next Friday.
So hop on Patreon so you can watch with us. Stay in distortion.
We love y'all.
Screw Joby.
I'm going to go absolutely smash some fettuccine Alfredo right now. And I hope everybody has a...
Thank you, Tawny.
...great week and weekend and the end of July. We'll see y'all in August.
Good niche, everybody.